There I was. I just got the text. The virus reached our neighborhood. We're going to talk about it on today's podcast.
Hi, my name is Michael Johnson. I'm a ballroom dance professional, a life coach, and a peak performance expert. I'm part of a group of motivated people who are dedicated to attaining emotional mastery and unlocking our full potential. We've realized life is a dance. The ups and downs can spin you out of your mind, but it's time to take back control. It's time to become a lifer. We don't believe others are responsible for how we feel. In fact, we don't believe anyone can make us feel anything. We are a new breed of overachievers. Emotional mastery is our journey, and unlocking our full potential is the key. Welcome to the journey. We are lifers, and this is Magic for Life.
What's up, everybody? Michael Johnson here with the Magic for Life podcast, and I'm so excited that you tuned in today and joined me for this episode of the Magic for Life podcast in quarantine. And I know that some of you may hear this later on down the road or whatever, but at least it kind of gives a perspective on how things were. And maybe I'll look back at this moment and be able to analyze it later, or maybe you can see with some better perspective once you hear this later on down the road. But essentially, a couple days ago, about a day or so ago, I was working as typical, just trying to keep preparing and getting great content out there that'll help all of you be able to take your lives to the next level and find success from the inside out. And just working away, trying to create some great new products and some great new content for the world, right? Because the goal is to change the world. The goal is to help everybody progress and be able to take their lives to the next level, find success in a deeper place. And so as I was working through you kind of like when things hit you a little bit when off guard, and I got this text, and it was from my wife, and the text said, somebody in our neighborhood just got diagnosed with the coronavirus, and it's somebody on our street, in fact, close to us, and literally in that moment, I was like, are we sure? Is that for sure? And all of a sudden, something that a few months back, even as recently as 3 months ago, was something that was happening in China. It was something that wasn't in our wheelhouse. It wasn't something that we had to deal with or that was important to us. In fact, we probably should have given it much more consideration, I suppose. That's another conversation altogether. One of my great team members tried to get us to pay attention to it a little sooner. So, kudos to her, but we missed the boat. But there I was working, got this text, and I remember in that moment just starting to think, oh my gosh, it's in our neighborhood. And the first thing, of course, fight or flight, it kicks in. And the first thing you think of is, how does that affect my children? How does that affect my family? That's like across the street, right? That's a few houses away. And it's a really interesting experience, right? Because up till now, it was like, yes, we're quarantined, but, it's not really near us. It's not really going to affect us. We don't have to really worry about that. And my wife, in talking to the family, found out that they had been really careful, and they had been very particular about, staying with the social distancing and staying quarantined. So their only thought really was that maybe they got it from a grocery store that nearby or something, because that's all they had really done. And it made it even more at home. And so then all of a sudden we're in this like, holy cow, it's getting worse. Like, it's not because they weren't following the rules or because they weren't participating with the social distancing or the quarantine. It was because they were doing something that we all have to do. We all have to get groceries. If it's in our grocery store, then what? And I could just feel my mind just exploding with the questions. Well, if this, then that, and if that, then this, and I could just feel it spiraling. And how many of you have felt like that? I mean, if you felt like that, put it in the comments below, because you're not alone. And this is my thing. I teach emotions. I teach emotional education. I help people work on their emotional operating system. This is my thing. And I could feel myself spiraling out of control in my own mind. And little by little, it was just like, and then all of a sudden it kicked in. And in that moment, I realized, whoa, okay, wait, what are my kids doing now? What's my family doing now? Are they safe? Are they okay? Are they still following the rules to keep themselves safe? And my training kicked in. Thank goodness. Right? It was that moment where my mind went, okay, all right, let's think about this for a little bit. Let's communicate a little bit better. Let's take a second and work on that one element that is so important, which is, how do you communicate to yourself? How do you talk to yourself? Because that's where it starts, right? Communication is key. And everybody says that, but they talk about communication as if it's only something you work on when it's with somebody else. But it's not. It's with you. You're where it starts. You see, that spiral started going really quick, and it happened within seconds. And I didn't think anything of it, but some of my team members pointed out that I do that, right? It's the training, it's the practice. I do it, and I do it within a couple seconds. And sometimes I can spiral just like everybody else, because we're all human. And it's so easy to spiral down that path and just be human, fight or flight, right? But instantly I went back to my training, because I practiced it, and because that's what I trained myself to do. And it's not because I'm a superhero or I'm so much greater than anybody else. I'm just like the rest of you. But it just takes a little practice. See, if you're good at lifting weights, you can go in and lift weights and you're good at it. If you're good at dancing, you can go in and dance and you're good at it, and you can do it on command. If you're good at reading contracts because you're a contract lawyer and you can read through a contract and see the holes and see the ups and the downs and the goods and the bads, you can do it. But if I had to do that, it would be challenging. So let me help. How do you communicate to yourself when things go bad, when everything hits the fan and stuff goes wrong? How do you communicate to yourself? So in that moment, I thought about it and asked some great questions to my wife and made sure everybody was okay. We confirmed that that was indeed the case. And now it's real. It's in our neighborhood, across the street. And now it's time. It's time to pay attention to what we've been told by our leaders. Take their good advice and pay attention when we go out. It's time to pay attention to what we have to think from the inside out, because we've got to manage that and we've got to control that. And you know what? What helps us to spiral down that path? It's the emotion that's behind it. It's the emotional element of fear that is communicated to ourselves, because we have to analyze and evaluate whether we should fight or whether we should fly. And if we can get in that path of those questions, what does this mean and what am I going to do about it? If we can get in front of that path, of that spiral, and kick back into the training and go, okay, I'm going to communicate with myself in the best way possible. And let's ask some good questions. Let's figure out what's most important. Have I learned from my past? That's the training. Have I planned for the future? That is the preparation to make sure that in the moment you can live every minute. I went back to the good communication, because how you communicate to yourself matters. So when you get in the way, the first thing I thought of is, okay, What can I do? What can I do about it right now? How can I stay in the moment? Because I don't want to get stuck worrying about the mistake that happened. I don't know why it happened. I don't know why we have to deal with it. It doesn't really actually matter. What matters is what I'm going to do about it now. Have we prepared? Well, thanks to my family and thanks to the preparation that they were willing to do, yeah, we're doing all right. We're doing good, right? Thank goodness for some good family members and some support of your family group. I hope you have that. If you don't, you got to do yourself. And in those moments, you go back to what's most important. What is most important? Every minute. If you need to plan some for the future, great, do that. Plan for the future. But as soon as you can, get back to the moment. Listen, guys, if you need some help and you want some training and you need some help to start to manage the communication that you have to yourself so that you can interrupt the spiral, check out everyminutebook.com. everyminutebook.com. You can get a copy of my free book. It's free. All you have to do is pay for shipping. I paid for the book. No gimmick, no catch. I just want you to have some good training on how to live every minute. And some of the stuff that we talk about in there, it'll help you. It'll help you get in the way so that even though you may get caught in the spiral, you don't have to drown in your bad communication. And there are probably a lot of things that maybe you could use some upgrades to your communication to yourself. Start there. Because if you communicate to yourself poorly, odds are you're probably communicating to other people poorly as well. Guys, go pick up a free copy of the book. It'll help you. All you have to do is pay for shipping. That's a small price to pay. Hey, I paid for the book. You paid for the shipping. It's a good deal. Go get a copy of the free book. Learn about every minute. Here's what it looks like. There it is. Yeah. Go look it up. Emotional Mastery Secrets for the Dance of Life. This is the dance of life. Everything isn't perfect. One step forward, one step back, a couple steps to the side, another forward, another back, a couple steps to the side. Turns out it's a cha-cha. It's just how it goes. It's just how it goes. Sometimes there's ups, sometimes there's downs. Let's work on our communication, right? Let's work on how we communicate to ourselves. Let's start with that. And of course, if you need some help, let me know. Comment in the comments below how you're living every minute during this dang quarantine. How are you living every minute? What are you doing to keep the communication to yourself clean and healthy, right? Clean meaning there's not all that junk in there. You can do it. Go check it out, everyminutebook.com, and stay safe, stay inside, stay healthy. You got this. We'll see you on the other side. Bye-bye.
Hey lifers, don't forget to get your free copy of the Every Minute book. You can find it at everyminutebook.com. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram.